Good morning, second grade. Miss Fogelman here for your reading lesson today. Let me share my screen. If you remember, yesterday we listened to the story, The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. And we took a quiz on that and talked about the characters, setting, and what happens in the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. Today, we're going to be talking again about the Three Little Pigs and another version or the same story, but written a little differently. We will be talking about that story today. Our learning target is that I can compare and contrast two versions of the same story. Today, you will need to think about the true story of the Three Little Pigs and remember what happened. Remember, when we're comparing and contrasting, when we're comparing, we're showing what's the same. We're looking for keywords or using keywords like as, both, like, have in common, alike, similar, similarly to, and the same. When I contrast two things, I'm showing how they're different. And I'm either looking for or using words like however, although, as opposed to, instead of, contrary to, or but. Our story today is called Wait, No Paint. This is another version of the Three Little Pigs.
Wait, No Paint by Bruce Watley. Once upon a time, there were three little pigs. They lived together in an old house on top of a tall hill, along with 73 other pigs, which is why they decided to leave home and build their own little houses. The first little pig built his house out of straw. The second little pig built his house out of sticks. The third little pig built his house out of bricks. Bricks would keep out the wind, the rain, and the big, bad wolf. The first little pig had just finished building his house when he heard a splash. "Oops," said a voice from nowhere in particular. "I spilt my juice." "Yuck," said the first little pig. Now his new straw house was soggy and sticky. Squish, squish, squish came a wet knocking on the door. It was the big bad wolf. "Let me in, he growled. "No, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin," squealed the pig. "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down," said the wolf. But before the wolf could do anything, the house collapsed with a wet plop. And the little pig took off as fast as his little pig legs could carry him. The second little pig had just finished building his house when the first little pig came running up. "There's a wolf after me," he gasped. "Did he huff and puff and blow your house in?" asked the second little pig. "He didn't have time. Someone spilt juice on my house, and it fell down all by itself," said the first pig. "Well, it looks like he's coming to finish the job here," said the second little pig. The wolf was almost at the house. They slammed the door just in time. "Ow," growled the wolf. The door slammed right in his face, but he was still hungry. Let me in, he began, clustering his nose, "or I'll huff, and I'll no, and I'll..." "Wait, I gotta redo the nose," interrupted a voice from nowhere in particular. While the wolf was getting his nose fixed, the two little pigs ran out the back door. The third little pig was enjoying a good book and a glass of pink lemonade when the two little pigs burst through his front door. They told him about the spilled juice, the wolf with the hurt nose, and the mysterious voice. The third little pig jumped up and bolted the door. "I know who the voice is," he said. turning white as a ghost. It's the illustrator. Yes, it's me, the one who is painting the story, said the voice, who was indeed the illustrator. And I'm sorry to tell you, but I just ran out of red paint. Without it, I can't make you pink. That's why you've all turned pale. The first pig felt so faint he had to sit down. The third little pig was not happy. This is embarrassing, he said. We have to be some sort of color. Suddenly, the three little pigs felt queasy, like they were riding a boat on stormy seas. They looked at one another and gasped. They were green. Green all over. Green? You made us green? Cried the third little pig. You don't like it? Said the illustrator. The third little pig shook his green hands. Well, I'll try to think of something else, but be careful, the illustrator continued. The wolf's coming. The wolf was in fact right at the door. Let me in! Let me in! He growled. All this running around was making him hungry. He didn't care what color the pigs were as long as he could gobble them up. No, not by the green hair of our green chinny chin chins, said the pigs. Well, then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll... How's this? Interrupted the illustrator. The wolf peeked through the window and howled with laughter. The illustrator had made the third little pig patterned. This is not funny, said the third little pig to the illustrator. Now I'm blending in with the furniture. You see, he said when the first pig sat on him, I'm starting to feel like a real clown. Suddenly, the third little pig looked like a clown. Uh-oh, said the first little pig. I think the illustrator misunderstood you. The second little pig explained to the illustrator that the third little pig had said he felt like a clown, not that he wanted to look like one. Oops, said the illustrator, and he made the third little pig pale again. On the other side of the door, the wolf was still hungry, so he huffed and he puffed some more, but he just couldn't blow the house in. So he decided to climb down the chimney instead. The third little pig heard the wolf on the roof. Quick! Let's build a fire, said the third little pig. That'll keep him out. They put more and more wood on the fire so it would get red hot. And wait, no paint, said the second little pig. No red paint? No red paint meant no fire. No fire meant the wolf would come down the chimney and gobble them up. Look, shouted the third little pig to the illustrator, because you ran out of red paint, the wolf is about to eat us up. Do something quick. We don't want to be in this story anymore. Once upon a time, there were 3 bears, a mama bear, a papa bear, and a little baby bear. The end.
So as you could see, this was quite a silly version of the 3 Little Pigs. Whoop. One that you may not have ever heard of before. So let's check for understanding. Who were the characters in this story? Well, of course, we had the big bad wolf, the 3 little pigs, but we had a new character in this story. And who can think of who that was? If you said the illustrator, you're correct. Remember, the illustrator is the one who creates the pictures in the story. And in this version of the 3 Little Pigs, the illustrator was one of the characters. The setting, of course, were the 3 Little Pigs' houses and outside of the houses. In the beginning of the story, it seems to start much like the other stories the other versions of the 3 Little Pigs, with each of the pigs building their house. But as the wolf visits each house, things that are different happen. For example, The first little pig, he doesn't blow the little pig's house down. The illustrator actually dumps his juice on the little pig's house and it makes it soggy, so he has to run from the big bad wolf. Then the second part of the story, where he visits the second pig's house, he doesn't blow that house down either. They manage to escape while the illustrator is fixing the wolf's nose from when he got bonked on the nose with the door. So as you can see, these are things that they've changed in the story to make it a different version of the same story. Then, of course, at the end, the wolf does not get hurt and the pigs don't get hurt. The illustrator decides to change the story to the Three Bears and Goldilocks. So this was quite an entertaining version. I liked it a lot. I hope you did too. Make sure you go on to the slide for reading today and take the Kahoot on this story. Tomorrow we will be comparing and contrasting these two versions. So make sure you're keeping these ideas in your head for tomorrow. All right, have a good day, everyone.